Hey, everybody, welcome back.
Huh? Huh? Is it Junet's time? Oh, hello, everybody.
Every day's great at your June.
Walmart.
Fuck you!
I mean, am I wrong? Junet's is basically Walmart.
I always kind of considered it more of a Target or kind of a mall supermarket, like an off-brand kind of thing.
Nah, bruh. It ruined small businesses and caused it caused the manager's son to be the customer service agent unintentionally. It's fucking Walmart.
Yeah, it is. Fuck. Oh, God. I've completely forgotten about that. I haven't played this game since the freaking PS2 and high school, so I'm excited to play P4 Golden just because, I didn't buy a Vita when it first came out. Also,
Yeah.
because I know this video is going to end pretty soon and we've watched it like 10 times today, both me
A lot
and
of
Will are
test
in
recording.
agreement. This is not as good as the original opening for a
Yeah.
bunch of freaking reasons to us, but also it's pretty cool. Like,
It's
I don't
not
know.
bad. I mean, it's
It's
cool
not
looking.
bad. Like, it's got its
It's not,
merits, but
and it's got style,
yeah.
but
Also, we just learned that blue butterfly is freaking Igor's master now. Like,
yeah, I
what the
did not
hell
realize that.
happened?
So, if any of you are familiar with Personas 1 and 2, yeah, Personas 1 and 2, there's a character named Philemon who's supposed to be like, I don't know if he is God or something. He's like some kind of virtual god of light, not virtual, virtuous god of light. And he's essentially Igor's master. He's the master of the Velvet Room, and he's like, here's Igor, he makes your personas. Apparently, he doesn't appear in person anymore, but he appears as the blue butterfly that's appeared in every game. And I'm like, what? But I want to see him in person. But that's farthest nitpick that I could ever pick for the series to ever touch upon again. Like maybe putting a Persona 6 in college.
Yeah, yeah. That's one of the things we had because essentially Persona is now the new Shin Megami Tensei. Like, let's face it, we don't get mainline series unless they're handheld games.
We haven't heard a thing about 5 since the Switch reveal conference back in 2017. How sad is that?
It really is. And, like, essentially, this is, in my opinion, kind of beginner's SMT. Like, this is the SMT you give people to get them maybe interested in SMT.
Yeah, and then you throw Nocturne at their balls and go, try it.
Yeah.
Do not literally throw Nocturne at somebody's balls. That probably would not go over very well.
Actually, I mean, it's just a PS2 jewel case, so it might not hurt, but meh. Okay, yes, like that's the thing. I'm noticing, like, okay, all the animations of Igor are like super smooth, and he almost looks kind of suave. Look at this freaking icon for him in the in-game model. Like, he's freaking wall-eyed, looking more like ditzy than Rick and Morty. And, he's supposed to be, like, totally bloodshot. Like, he's supposed to be a creepy-ass looking man. Like,
I don't know. I
I
still
don't
think he
know.
looks creepy.
Like, he looks creepier in-game than he does in the freaking cutscenes. And, like, the opening. Like, that was my main complaint about Igor. Like,
Oh, right.
up
When
the
the
creep
opening
level,
animation.
man. Like, he's otherworldly. He lives in the Velvet Room. Like, yeah, this guy is supposed to be, sub
A supernatural being.
Yeah.
Like, not of any kind of religion specifically, it's just, he's just Igor.
Mm-hmm.
And Margaret. Oh, Margaret, my favorite Velvet Room attendant.
Mm-hmm.
So, my deal about the Persona, I guess, re-releases of extra content and everything, because, Royal's been out for a while at the time of this recording, and I played it and beat it, and I fucking loved it.
Yeah.
And I'm playing Persona 4 Golden on my own time,
Whoops.
and I'm also really liking it. But I've noticed like the trend with the openings, and this is a very minor thing. It does not really affect the quality of the gameplay and any of the improvements of the gameplay,
Mm-hmm.
but I kind of find the openings a little too visually flashy for me, for my taste. Like they're not as slick. You know what I mean?
No, I
Like
get that. I'm just buying time by fucking around here. But, yeah, no.
it's it's just a problem that I face when I see it, and I'm like, huh. I feel like the original opening just kind of got the point across without
Yeah.
having to go visually like explosive. Like when I saw Royals opening on Twitter before the game came out, I was like, huh. They kind of took away the message of like, what did people like Persona 5 for? The Flash? All right, we're gonna make everything so visually flashy and like animated and moving, and it's like, whoa, tone it down, guys.
Yeah.
Sleek is the term that comes to mind when I think of Persona 4's originals opening and Persona 5 originals opening.
Well, even then, like, Persona 4 is a murder mystery first, a fun high school romp second. Like, don't get me wrong, the fun high school romp is there in full view for everybody. But, like, this is about the freaking murders. Like, the first intro gives you that. Like, you're in a new place. People are dying. Oh, here's the Velvet Room. You're having weird ass dreams. What the hell is going on? I thought I was here for a dating sim.
Yes, whereas,
Nope.
but now apparently in Golden, it's like, look at your friends. Look at all these people. Look, oh, is those hanging bodies? No, they just sleep funny.
Yeah, it's like, are those drunks on the water tower?
Considering how Japan treats drinking kind of like a sport,
Could be.
I would I would not blame that conception at all. But yeah, otherwise, it's great to finally see this game be released from the Vita prison and the Vita can finally rest in peace.
Yeah, I hate to see the Vita truly go, but like this was the last lifeline it really had. Other than
Yeah.
the great modding community, I still love the Vita, but like, fuck you, Sony. You could have done better with it.
Yeah. And also, generally, when it comes to exclusivity deals, you could have had Persona 4 at the very least be exclusive to the PlayStation platforms, like overall.
Yeah.
Kind of like what they're doing with Persona 4 Original, or what I assume they'll probably do with Persona 5 and Royal, because those games sold like hotcakes. So they'll probably be on all the other PlayStation platforms because Atlus loves to fucking go by their principles.
Mm-hmm.
But this game was stuck on the Vita for so goddamn long. And what makes me so mad about it is that when this finally gets ported, people are like, oh yeah, we're streaming it, we're let's playing it, everybody gets to see our reactions to this game. First time players will finally get to see this story. People that don't have the time for JRPGs can finally get to see this story.
Yeah.
But then Atlus decides to be Atlus and fucking release a statement of, hey, a lot of people haven't played this game yet still, even though it's super old.
Well,
Why not just put spoilers in your title? And I'm like, whose fucking fault is that?
not only is it really their fault that that's the case, but again, I agree with the fact that once a
They,
game is over like 5 to 6 years old, it's essentially a memory. Like,
yeah,
the only way new people find out about the game at that point is that someone else introduces them to it. There's no real new hype that's going to invest people just getting into a genre about it. So, P4, in my opinion, oh god, those signs are still so pixelated. Like, unless I introduce, let's say, like, David, he's my little bro. He was literally probably like 4 or 5 when the first Persona 4 came out. By the time it was on the Vita, which is just a console that didn't have that good of an install base, he has no hype for this game, much less the series, until P5. So it's almost a decade before new players are even thinking of this series. So yeah, although P4 revolutionized, Persona versus Shin Megami Tensei, it's not the PS2 era anymore. We don't have Nocturne. We don't have, the actual Shin Megami Tensei series making console landings.
You
We
don't
don't
have
have.
Digital Devil Saga.
Yeah, I mean, Dante being in that was also a big selling point of that at the time. And I think that's part of how SMT even really reached the Western audience was with Digital
Yeah.
Devil Saga.
And then Persona 3 kind of ended up being the thing that tipped it a little more, and then Persona 4 tipped the scale so.
Hello, yeah. Persona 4 definitely did a huge number. Like, no doubt. I'm just checking if you're still here. Okay, you're there.
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm here in the Velvet Room. Looking at
okay, that explains why I couldn't hear you.
looking at fucking Igor's giant nose that could possibly be like those Russian masking dolls, the ones that's like, pop, there's another one, pop, there's another one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
but that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm glad P4 is off the Vita, and it's getting a new lease on life.
Yes.
Because this was actually my first SMT game.
I think that's the same deal for me, too, because I played it on a PS3 in high school a while back, and I got really far in it, but this is a thing infamous with Persona 4, and I think also Persona 3, about how apparently when you save in the game, that's like your only real save point, and then when you die, you're sent all the way back to said save point, so you lose a ton of in-game days. I was in a very late game dungeon and lost like 2 in-game weeks worth of progress where I maxed out a couple social links. I was too disheartened to continue. Now, I've died in Persona 4 Golden in my time playing it, and so far I have not encountered this issue, which is a fucking godsend.
Well, I'm glad to see all the changes they make. But already, like, just being able to turn the contrast to max right here.
Does it do a lot for you?
So much better. Oh my god, yes. There's something about actually seeing the grime on the steps. That does something for me.
It gives you that real rustic town vibe.
Yeah.
You can almost make out the grandpa's truck in the lawn.
Yeah, pretty much.
Maybe even the bathtub in the grass. Calls that his hot tub.
What's wrong?
So the deal about the whole Vita dying thing also can bring up a conversation about exclusivity. Now, Jordan and I have talked about this many a time before, but I'm of the mind that I don't mind the sense of exclusivity so long as it's either timed with a specific console, like, say, Final Fantasy VII Remake, for instance. That's a timed exclusive, which granted is lasting a super long time. Like, it's not going to come to the PC until next year, but at the very least, it's not stuck on PlayStation forever.
Yeah.
But then there's cases of, like, I don't know, I've been watching Let's Plays of this for a while. So, Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, that is only GameCube. Only GameCube. There is no other way for you to play it unless it's emulation.
Yeah.
He just moved here.
And that's my argument for why emulation's so important.
Yes, unless these companies can get their heads out of their asses and be like, hey, these games are still beloved, how about we just put them on our modern consoles, or let some of our third-party options that are also equally as popular be on the PC. Fucking Capcom did it with Resident Evil 4. That game is on everything. Literally everything. So, yeah, it's just like certain companies just have different principles or different priorities, I guess. But by far the dumbest is like with Atlus, with Persona 4 Golden, because this game was on the Vita for so long. But
yeah, but for me, like, the weird thing is, I don't know when it started, SMT and Persona, like, now Atlus is owned by Sega. So things have changed since Sega took the reins. And that's a good thing.
Yeah, this might have been a Sega move, if anything.
It probably was a Sega move.
Which, I mean, thank you, Sega, for doing that, because finally people can actually play this game without having to hunt down a Vita for it.
Yeah, I just,
That's
to
understandable.
me,
It must have been a long.
how should I say this?
Why not take a little walk, get some fresh air?
How should I say this? I like the fact that at least PS2 and earlier, it felt like Atlus was just publishing to whatever the biggest name at the time was to reach the widest audience. It seems like after P4, they really kind of went exclusionary. Like, Nintendo gets the side projects and the mainline SMT, but like Persona and the genres we're trying to grow went to Sony, and then you're lucky as hell if you were like me and had an Xbox 360, because you ain't getting shit until the fighting game.
Understandable, because like, and even then with a lot of the Nintendo SMT titles, it's like we haven't heard a shit about SMT5 since 2017. So it's pretty obvious where their priorities are in terms of announcements. In fact, a lot of Switch announcements are kind of gone dark.
Yeah.
I mean, fucking Bayonetta 3 hasn't been talked about in any regard since that one announcement trailer during the Game Awards. But that's just, it's just a bunch of weird stuff. We live in a weird age. We really do.
Oh,
But,
totally.
I mean, at least we have Persona 5 Royal and Persona 4 Golden to take our minds off of it. And, man, it feels nice to be able to hear the music of this again and be able to see the actual models with great clarity, for better or for worse. And you'll see what I mean by for worse later.
Yeah. But I mean, like, I hope this maybe encourages them to, I don't know, put P5 on PC. Because I wouldn't mind trying it, but I don't want to buy a PS4.
Yeah, and the only way that Jordan probably would ever get to play it is if we ever start actually having an apartment and doing these things in person instead of through Discord. Because I own a capture card, Jordan doesn't.
Yeah. And that's one reason, like, I have to stick to PC. Because I use OBS and I use different types of screen capture software, or I use emulators for the most part to get things done. Also, I really like the look of this loading screen. It's a lot cleaner than I remember on the PS2. Like, that looks really good. Yeah, this game looks great. Like,
It does.
I don't mind low poly models. Like, honestly, I think overall these characters and the textures look really good. I really like this freaking shop here, this green bookshop. Like, the texture work on it is really nice.
Like, the thing is like, PS2 ages super well. It's just the resolution could get a touch up, and then boom, you're done.
Pretty much. Like, they're low poly models, but they made up for it in actual art direction. Like,
yes,
yeah, these portraits don't necessarily look like the models, but the models look just close enough. Like, you're never confused, and the models have their own character to them. Like, I love that Dojima always has a fag hanging out of his mouth. Like, it's great.
Might need to use a different term there, buddy.
I get that. I've always called him that. So,
Cigarettes, buddy. Cigarettes. Cigarettes. We're not British. Cigarettes.
Okay.
As much as we would like to be, we're not British.
On this one, I'll give you that. But that's why I always called him, so.
Still, better safe than sorry.
I got you.
And, yeah, I mean, the same deal about art direction, that's pretty much the whole deal about Persona 5, is that, granted, Persona 5 doesn't have realistic-looking people, but god damn, that game has some good art direction.
Yeah, like, I guess that's my thing. I want the Persona 2, Persona 3 ports from the original PSP on PC, because I really like their freaking art direction. They're great. Also, I want to fight Hitler again, but on the big screen.
He's not Hitler, he's Fuhrer. Well, no, he's Hitler in Japanese version.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he's freaking Hitler. I don't care. It's Hitler.
I don't know. I just wanted to be that guy for a second.
Yeah, Hitler. He's in hell, and you get to fight him. It's great.
Yes. And yeah, I would agree that having Persona 2 available on PC as well would be great. Just more of the PlayStation 2 to PS1 library on PC and Switch, for that matter, would be great. Because, you know, a lot of games end up not being able to reach audiences that could super love them if they don't put them out, you know? Like, how much of a life would... Let's see, what's a game that released and got good critics, but barely any sales? Fire Emblem Path of Radiance, for instance. I own a copy, but only by second hand, and that thing cost me roughly $200 to get. And that game is forever a GameCube exclusive. It didn't sell well. Nintendo thought, oh, no sales equals less interest, but no. Ike is one of the most super popular Fire Emblem characters ever, and they still haven't done shit with his character outside of cameos via Amiibo. And it's like, really? You're sitting on a game that could really do well for your audience if you just fucking gave it a shot and ported the damn thing. But maybe I'm not a game designer, so maybe it's just harder than we think it is. I mean, there's some games that are straight up impossible to port, or some games that will never be able to be ported. Like, what's that game again? Oh yeah, remember how Silent Hill 2 on the HD remaster on PS3 is absolute ass?
How can we ever forget?
Yeah, I mean, they lost the source code, so now the game is just straight up impossible in some regard. I mean, you can find decent PC builds on emulation, but that's through emulation. It's not official. So, yeah, kind of like a veritable kick in the nuts to anybody that's interested. Speaking of nuts and or cock and ball torture, so husband and wife troubles on TV.
Yeah.
So yeah, getting the seed sown of conflict throughout the story with your adorable niece. And now you get your Japanese Walmart advertisement.
Yeah.
Every day's great at your Walmart.
I admit though, like Nanako just going down for this like June-S theme, like I don't know.
Well,
that's like one of my fondest memories of this game.
It's part of the sad thing though too, is that her dad is never home because he's a detective and that's keeping him away from his daughter, and she's being comforted by the jingle of a giant corporate store. Kind of sad, because that thing's gonna she's gonna end up like as an employee at Junes, but then she'll be the optimistic employee that's like, oh, I get to work on the greatest place on earth. And then you see the old guy that's got a cigarette in his hand and he's like, kid, you don't know shit. Oh. I don't know. I just picture that image and I'm like, oh, poor Nanako. And the thing is, even the characters in the game address how the Junes has essentially ruined their economy. Like, all the mom and pop stores in the town have been losing business because Junes is both convenient and plentiful.
Yeah.
What does that sound like to you?
Yeah.
And Nanako is actively being happy about that situation, which is not a very pleasing thing to a lot of people. In fact, very first fucking thing involved with the other world in this game, and we are going to be talking about some spoilers in the plot. This is an old game. This is an old game. You see spoilers in the title. Fucking don't complain at us in the comments.
We've waited like a month to play this, so if you don't know by now,
it's like, bro, where you been?
Yeah.
It's like, bro, we already had all the beers and the empty cans. You just crushed one of them.
Yep. Yeah.
So, essentially, the very first Persona encounter you get in the TV world is like, oh, Yosuke's hearing about how this girl, her family hates her and everybody talks behind her back because she works at the place that's taking business away from everybody else. It's like, yeah. And then Nanako's singing its praises and I'm like, oh, poor child. She's too pure for this.
Yep.
So anyway, Fog.
Yeah. I mean, PS2 limitations, but also somewhat sound level design because I love the static effect.
Yes, I love this. I love this cool, overlay with the effect here. I mean, considering that the other world is a TV world, it would make sense that it'd look all CRT-like. in terms of
Yeah.
its resolution.
Well, setting too, you know, like CRTs are common during this time, and
Well,
yeah,
let's see. I think this game is supposed to take place in 2011, so yeah, definitely before flat screens were everywhere.
yeah, they
People,
were there, but like they weren't in everyone's home. And I've noticed one thing too, like how should I put this? Japan, in a way, is kind of behind sometimes on technology. Like they have more technology than us, but like the adoption rate seems to
it's
be a little
because
different.
it's because like, and correct me on this if I'm wrong. Comment section. Like, I don't know everything about Japan's culture and economic status. I'm just a fucking dude that plays video games in front of a computer.
Yeah.
So
Well, if
anything
I
that I say, take it
have
with a
a
grain of
sword
salt.
at this
But
point.
I think a majority of the reason, and this is varying sources, mind you, that entrepreneurship in Japan is not that evident. Like there's not really much entrepreneurship because nobody's really wanting to make stuff. So a lot of the time they're just stuck with a lot of the same devices and the same brands, so it's a bit stagnant. I mean, it's the reason why they probably still have CRT TVs. Probably why some are able to package and resell old SNES units that look like new. It's like, why would you do anything else? Which, granted, I mean, if you could buy a fucking Super Nintendo or Super Famicom, if you're going full Japanese, if you bought that for roughly, let's see, I think the one I saw in a video was like 5,000 yen, which is around $50, 49 to $50. I mean, stale economy or not, that kind of sounds appealing, right?
Mm-hmm. It really does, yeah.
And the thing is, it's like you think, oh, for $50 for a SNES, it's probably going to be like crappy quality. There might be mayonnaise in the cartridge slot or something, and I don't know, maybe you might smell a bit of dog shit on one of the controllers. Oh no, they look brand spanking new. Also, poor Nanako has to make breakfast all the time. Oh.
Like, I don't know. I really relate to Nanako in some ways. Like, I love her. She is. If like I had a daughter, she really is everything I could hope for.
Yeah. She is the kind of kid that would probably end up addicted to singing "Let It Go," though.
I mean, at the same time, I feel like all her other qualities would somewhat make me like begrudgingly be okay with it.
Begrudgingly is definitely the word for that.
Yeah. I'd still love her.
She is still fun, and she is still protect.
Yeah.
You must protect her.
Oh, totally, totally.
Unlike Teddy, fucking when he
Dude,
shows
I love
up.
Teddy. Again,
I mean,
like, really, the whole kanji dungeon, like, spoke to me in high school. I'm just gonna leave it at that. And then freaking, like, Teddy and the fight was, like, what I was going through, like, mentally at the time. So it was like, man, why is this fucking bear speaking to my soul? And then you see, like, the actual
that I
monster
understand.
form popping out.
That I
I'm
understand.
Like, yep, it's all futile.
That I understand, but in my case, I just see him as a mascot character, and as a mascot character, I find him ear grating at times.
I mean, don't get me wrong,
Like,
that's probably the worst voice actor in this game, in my opinion. And the fact that he stays in bear form for most of the game really sucks.
yes, because you like his twink form.
I mean, I do like the twink form, let's be honest, but you know.
but as a mascot character, let's see, the one from 3, the dog, most certainly is top because dogs are good boys and girls, 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
And Morgana from 5 is certainly better than Teddy.
Okay, I love how, like, he crashes into this pole, and because of his little hopping position, the only thing I can think of is he slid forward on a seat and rammed his balls into the bar of the bike.
I think that's the implication.
Yeah, I'm just like,
And you're just like,
Sorry,
well,
okay.
sucks for you, pal.
Sucks for you, dude. That's what you get for using a bike in the rain.
I'm biking in the rain. I'm biking in the...
Oh, God.
So, as I was saying about Morgana, is that he's fine when he's not like drooling over one of the main characters. Like you've seen Morgana and like the simp attitude, right? Like one of the main female leads, Anne, and I'm gonna pronounce her name Anne because that's how you fucking pronounce it. The way they pronounce it in the game is how the Japanese pronounce it. I'm not doing that. Like Anne's like super pretty and she's like a really good-natured person, but Morgana just is like, he's the kind of character that would unironically buy her bathwater.
And then drink it.
Yes. Or no, probably like put it in a waterbed and sleep on it. Oh, I can't. Oh, as that was coming out of my mouth, as I was saying it, that made me. Oh. Can you sell me your bathwater? I'm gonna put it in a waterbed so I can sleep on top of it. Oh, it's so bad.
Why?
Oh, it's about as bad as this guy's overbite.
The side's been thrown from the big city. I didn't meet out of nowhere like yesterday's garbage. And he wasn't much of a loser here as he was there. So you girls better not get any ideas about hitting on him.
I'm confident that's voice acting already, dude.
Say what?
I'm confident that's already being voiced, bruh.
Oh, it is, but I just wanted to do an overbite for no fucking reason and do that.
Like, those teeth look fake. Buddy, take them off.
That's it. You're on my shit.
Also, if a teacher says that you're on their shit list, wouldn't that get a teacher in trouble normally?
It's Japan.
That's true. They are stricter when it comes to academia, but still, like, really? This guy's an overt douche. Like, overt with capital douche. So, I don't know. I just think it's kind of ridiculous that he doesn't face any level of repercussion.
I love how he's talking about, like, LiveJournal and MySpace
Yes.
in 2011. Like, dude, MySpace stopped being important by, like, 2008.
And that's why nobody likes him.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jordan, I have the big question. Like, this is going to be a very big question to bring up this early on, but I feel like it's going to be something that people in the comments will want to ask you, so I'm going to do it now.
Cool.
Your playthrough here,
Okay.
who are you romancing?
Did they add any options in Golden? Or can you only
No,
choose between...
no, they haven't, sadly. However, there is a mod that does exist that does allow the player to romance Yosuke, because that seemed to have been a thing planned before, that you could have been able to romance Yosuke. So if you want to, you could put the mod back in and then romance Yosuke, but if you don't, then it's just the normal female options that you can romance. So that's...
I didn't actually go through romance in the first game because I was just trying to do my social links before I pretty much got locked out of them.
Gotcha.
So I don't know. I'm going to kind of I'm going to play this game in memory.
Okay, so are you playing it by ear mostly? And if a character catches your eye, you might go, hey, she seems interesting.
Yeah, so I'm probably gonna go with that like detective wannabe chick you get after you rescue Kanji.
Yeah, well, you don't get her after you rescue Kanji. She doesn't become a part of your party until much later. But yeah, I know who you're talking about. In fact, I'm thinking about Naoto as well in my playthrough, but I'm not sure. I'm caught between her and maybe one of the other side characters that's a part of your social link group.
Yeah, I mean, I totally go for Kanji if I could, but I know they didn't allow that. So.
And I mean, I hear about this nurse character that a lot of people really like, so I need to find out about her.
Though, I mean, dude, if they allowed Yosuke in the base game, I'd probably do Yosuke. I'm not even kidding. I freaking like his frog persona. Like, just, hell yeah, let's do it.
Oh, yeah, how it's based on Jiraiya.
Yep. Like, that's so cool to me.
That's a lot of things that I find fun about Persona, is how Atlus are able to interpret these characters from mythology or folklore or history in some cases, and just interpret them into designs that are just really nice to look at.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh god, one of the, I mean, everybody knows how iconic Arsene looks in Persona 5. I mean, to the point where Arsene is a factor in Joker's gameplay in Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
And a lot of the personas that are like the first personas of the protagonist are super iconic for all of them. And, you know, all of the other personas that are available are super interesting looking as well. And it makes you think, like, it's broad enough of a subject matter to think, hey, if I were a Persona character, what would my persona be? You know, things like that. Gotta love an open universe in that regard. And of course, immediately 2 girls go to your chair and you're like, oh my god, you're from the big city!
Yeah.
Did you ever see any giant drug deals?
Let's go check out and see if there's a dead body.
Hey kids, you want to see a dead body?
Yeah. Living in a van down by the river.
I'm too scared to do my wait. Yeah, Chris Farley. I'm too scared to do my Chris Farley impression because I fear blowing out our audience's ears. But if I were given free reign to, you bet your ass I would do that shit. But yeah, I was thinking more like Stand By Me. Oh, and here's the unfortunate part about Yosuke Part 2 in this opening, I guess movie, I assume, because it's 2 hours before you really experienced any gameplay. Tragedy Part 2, and there we go. Kicked in the nads. Just kicked straight in the nads. So he gets rammed in the nads by his bike bar, and then gets kicked by Chie.
Yep.
And Chie's primary method of attack in the other world is kicks. So
yeah, you know she's good at it.
Yes, she could.
Plus, man, she likes that beef.
Yes, she do like that meat, as a lot of fucking side content puts up. Like, the thing is that Chie's a really fun character in her own, but then the side.
It looks like he's in a lot of pain. You should leave him.
Yeah. Well, dude.
I love that that's like something they just make the decision for you on. It's like, that's the moment where you notice who the
this guy
is. I know. But you know, his model doesn't look that bad.
His fucking eyes, though.
Oh, hell yeah, I know.
They have no fucking pupils.
Dude, he's soulless, yeah.
Exactly. Ugh. God, no wonder he fucking becomes a fucking no wonder he gets his own dungeon.
Dude, I love the idea, like, Tap is fucking Nas. Oh, I know it's just supposed to be, like, random soda for these guys, but I just see it, like, you get those boomer memes where they all drink the freaking white monsters, but, like, sometimes it's Nos, and I'm like, oh my god, what? That was Tap.
Yeah. Sometimes you just feel nostalgic about seeing old stuff.
Oh yeah, god, yes.
Like flip phones. Like back when I first watched Doctor Who, like the reboot Doctor Who, and I see flip phones from 2000s, and I'm like, oh, that was a time. I didn't have a phone till I was in high school.
Yo, Yukiko-san. Turn down another love, man. You're cruel. You got me the same way.
And yeah, apparently Yukiko's like the school idol, so to speak. Not, it's like she's very demure and also, I don't want to say dense, but kind of clueless in terms of people's interest in her.
Yeah.
Like, she clearly understands that guys approach her sometimes, but I think she misunderstands intentions.
Well,
I think that's the deal.
I would say she's kind of on the spectrum. Like, that's actually the feeling her dungeon gives to me. And then, yeah,
I don't feel that vibe.
dude. I'm saying she's somewhere on the autistic like spectrum. Like,
I do not. I don't know about that, Chief.
Dude,
I don't.
like, just the way she talks sometimes.
I think that's because
Later
she's
in the
shy.
I don't know if it really is shyness. I think it's literally like she just does.
Oh, I don't know, Jordan. If you were asked by a TV reporter, hey, this dead woman stayed at your hotel. How do you feel about that? And she's like, what? Would you react fucking normally and be like, yes, the dead woman did stay at our hotel?
Yeah.
Okay, then you're the oddball.
Okay. Like, to me,
How do you
like,
feel about that?
yeah.
I know if I was put on the spot on live TV, no matter the country, I would be fucking stammering over myself like I was a fucking. Oh god, I don't know where I was going with that joke. But point is, I can understand why she'd be a bit quiet.
I don't know. To me, it's like, okay, someone died that was staying here. We didn't kill them. So, yeah.
Well, on top of that, the reporter did not exactly stay on task in regards to that conversation with her. He was more like, "Hey, were you doing something after school?"
Now that Chie's talking, I also remember another thing, and it's the fact that, like, Yukiko doesn't actually want to take over her family's business.
Yes, that's
Like,
the other thing.
I forgot about that aspect of some of the conversations we're gonna have with her later. I think that's kind of why I said what I did earlier, but I'm like, yeah, she's dealing with her own fucking stress.
Yes, she has her own problems.
Yeah, it's like,
in fact, that's
she
what
doesn't even want to put on that she wants the business, lest someone misconstrued she even likes doing the business.
Yes, so she's kind of quiet about it. So there you go. And yeah, I mean that's what her whole freaking dungeon's about. Like her boss fight is literally a scarlet bird in a gilded cage.
Yeah, I know.
And her whole
and her whole most hated boss fights. That and the freaking Lego thing.
Okay, the I know exactly what boss you just mentioned. That boss can go fuck itself. Oh god, what other bosses were absolute assholes to me in Persona 4?
Dude, there are a lot. There are.
I remember Kanji's boss fight giving me a bit of trouble, but mostly
he's a little bit of a problem, but I think it's mostly because of what skills you have at the time.
I think it's also because of the two helpers that he has.
Yeah. It really is like where your skills are at, and if you've actually fused personas that he's weak against. If you haven't,
you're just leveled up enough.
Yeah,
and if you're at like a proper level for it.
He was one of the first guys I just had to grind to beat.
Not gonna lie, actually, I had no issues grinding whatsoever during my time in Golden so far. I'm currently around level 22, 20, 21, 22, and I was able to beat Kanji. Granted, it was a rough fight, but I was able to beat him first try. So, yeah, fair to say, the boss fights in this game can get a little rough. And then I also have to recontextualize the idea that, oh, hey, maybe all-out attacks all the time are not the best idea. Because fucking Persona 5 is like, no, all attacks are the end-all, be-all. Like, they end the fight, but no, there's some skills in this game, like this game specifically, where it's like, oh, Kanji can get a skill where it's like, do more attack damage against an opponent that's knocked down, and those numbers end up being much bigger than an all-out attack, and it's like, So yeah, news tip to anybody that's playing this game: the only time where you should ever really do an all-out attack is when your enemy is essentially like 1 foot in the grave. You know, don't do it when they're like at half health and you think you think it's gonna kill them. That's a Persona 5 mindset. This requires a whole different mindset.
Yeah. I don't know. I might be able to get some.
I think all you can really do is just explore the town and see some of the stores. I don't think you can even go in the stores yet. I don't even think you have money yet.
Yeah, I don't think I do. I just like checking everything out.
I do like how the system of like shop stuff is done in this game compared to 5. It's like 5 was just progressive unlocks of weapons that
Okay, I
admittedly
love his response. Like, yay, an emergency! No, I don't have to go back to work.
I mean, wouldn't that be your response if it was like, hey, there was an incident in the area. You need to go home and stay safe. Jordan, how high would the ceilings have to be in order to keep you contained from jumping into the sky.
What do you mean?
Like, considering where you work right now, if an announcement over the intercom or your manager called you and said, hey, there has been an incident and it's probably safe if you just go home for the day, how high would the ceilings have to be to contain you from jumping into the sky?
I don't know. I guess I would, I would probably jump for joy, but also I'd grab my piece and be like, did it happen here? Because, I'm ready to put some holes in a motherfucker.
I don't think that's the intent. My intention was to be like, would you...
Dude,
that wasn't the intention behind the question, Jordan.
Dude, I am so on edge at Walmart. Let me just tell you, like, I've had dudes shoulder me in the chest. I've had dudes yell at me. My coworkers have gotten swung at because of the mask orders. Like,
and on top of that,
I'm like, dude, come on, come at me, make my fucking day, because that's gonna be the only way I get out of here.
Yeah. Well, that or just, you know, you finally resign. But
yeah, and hopefully that comes first. But you know, I'm just like, fuck, just someone try me.
Every day is great at your Junes.
Yeah. Like, Walmart is horrible for the soul, and that's why I've gone here.
Yes. You need the pure jingle of Junez and Nanako to cleanse your soul.
I do. Freaking Junez. Like,
if only it were real. If only it were real.
Yeah. I'm just kind of exploring around because, like, we're not supposed to.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, game story, you're supposed to go home, but I mean, might as well check out all these. Okay, so apparently you can get a fishing rod around here, and I know for certain you can fish in this game, but I don't know how for the life of me.
It's not that hard. I remember doing it.
Like, not the fishing itself, I mean getting the items to fish is the problem.
I don't remember, but I did it back in the day, so...
Yeah, me too.
It's easier to do than Stardew Valley.
Yeah, for certain.
Stardew Valley.
Well, actually, I don't find the fishing is...
I mean, you and Amanda both enjoy it. I can't get into it. I'm like, oh my god, this little button is just so hard to keep.
Maybe you ought to try. Maybe you ought to try other life sim games. Yeah, I mean, as I mentioned to you before, I got this.
What is it? Harvest Moon. Harvest Moon's always been kind of cool.
Yeah, there's also that game Rune Factory 4, I think, that's available on Switch.
Yeah, I've heard of that actually.
I hear it's decent. And then there's also that game on Early Access I got a while back, or I got today actually, at the time of recording. It was called Littlewood. And I've just been curious about it because it's like, oh, it's like a life sim game, you know, post big fantasy battle where you're trying to rebuild your life, so to speak. It seems nice. I haven't played it yet, but it looks fun.
Yeah.
But so far, best we can do right now is just be able to play our games and keep, you know, sane, wear a mask, wash your hands. Common sense goes a long way.
Yep. And don't step on the guards in Walmart. We're all ready to shank you at this point. Please stop it.
Yeah.
Wear a mask. We're on camera, and if we don't check your receipts, they can come down on us hard. So please, just smile. Let us do the 5-second thing when we call you. And don't shove it in your pocket like a dick and crumple it up. Because that's going to take another 10 seconds. You're going to build a line behind you. And then we got to, like, just let everyone pass. And then our bosses get mad because we're not checking everyone because we know you're annoyed.
It's not our fault that you're an impatient bitch, Karen.
Yep.
By the way, I actually have a fun Karen story from last week.
Please tell it.
I mean, it's not a very long story, but it was a Karen story. So, I work at a pizza buffet place. I'm not going to say what it's called, but Jordan knows what I'm talking about. It's a pizza buffet place, and so we have delivery drivers that go out to the locations that places deliver the pizzas and such. My responsibilities was mostly just taking over the salad bar. I've been assigned a salad bar for pretty much, I think, a month at this point. And one of our drivers came back and she was like, or not she, he was like, yo, this woman just followed me back to the store and she's like raging a fit. And she's trying to claim that he flipped her off and cursed her out on the road or something. But his account was she was just trying to claim that he cut her off, and all he did was just like give her a thumbs up and smiled at her when she was flipping him off. So the boss thankfully took his word for it, not the Karen's. And when she went into the store and was trying to raise hell about it, she called some of our employees apes, and one of our other store managers, who I will admit is on the shorter side, she's probably roughly a little over a foot shorter than me. I'm 6'2", by the way, so calculations. Like little over a foot shorter than me. She called her a rat. So, yeah, I was just like, shit. That was my first time ever having a Karen experience here.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, fair to say, common sense goes a long way, folks. If you think you're going to get a free if you think you're going to try and get a free meal out of outing a delivery driver for not even doing anything wrong, you just want a free meal for the night, you're a jackass. Just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying. It's disgusting how some people think they can get away with the stupidest shit.
Oh, I know.
But that's...
Dude,
that's
the last person we arrested, like, she literally came in the store 3 times before he caught her, and it was like, just back to back to back. Like, I'm sorry, if you do that, most of the time something's up. Why are you that stupid? Like, first time, you'll probably be okay. Second time, I might be a little like, I wonder why you're back within the hour. That's a little odd. Maybe you forgot to buy a juice. I see you walk out with a juice or something. Okay, no problem. Third to fourth time, and you're going out with like another full basket. You're not wearing a charity uniform. Like, what the hell's going on here? Yep. Call the cops on you, and you know what? Within the hour, you're walking out in cuffs, because turns out you did this at like 2 other Walmarts and had a record. Like, come on, people. Have a little class.
Have a little class, and also, it's kind of scary the level of financial independence that people can end up having, and then that shit happens.
God, yes.
Anyway, here's Yosuke.
Yeah, Yosuke is great.
This is it. These are pretty, like, I don't know how to put it, like, bleak conversations concerning that we're playing Persona 4.
Yeah, but, you know, like, Persona 4 is kind of a bleak game, and that's something I like about it.
Well, I mean, it's not as bleak as the SMT franchise in general, but I get what you mean.
Again, that's why I consider Persona, like, SMT for noobs.
Yes, baby's first SMT.
Yeah, it's baby's first SMT. I'm not siding with Satan to save the human race against God's wrath.
And you're not killing Hitler in hell. You're not killing Hitler in hell.
We might kill Hitler in hell. It is still Persona. But,
well, Persona 1 and 2 are very different tonally and...
yeah, than 3, 4, and 5. But even then, I would say, like, 1 and 2 are still more lighthearted than SMT, usually.
Yeah.
Like,
it's just if we were to say what feels more SMT-like in terms of tone and content of story, 1 and 2 definitely feel a bit more detached than 3 through 5.
Yeah. Well, okay.
God, more of this guy. Fucking
yeah.
Pop those teeth out. For the love of God. Those aren't real. They can't be.
Okay, you want to know the truth, man? Like, looking at his in-game model, and even when I was like a kid first playing this in like high school, I really thought his teeth, like, I get that it's a portrait that shows his teeth like this, but like, looking at the in-game model, I just thought he was wearing a toupee and he had a white mustache. Like, that's how I see his model. Like even now, I'm just like he has a really low-laying mustache and he's wearing a really bad wig.
You have like a hairy lip or something? That ain't no where a mustache is supposed to go, buddy.
I mean, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's pretty low. It's like he had a pencil mustache or something, like right on the edge of his lip. I don't know. Like that's just the way my brain interprets his in-game model.
That. Although that is fair. I mean, I'm the kind of guy that back when I played Melee a million years ago, I used to think that the Smash coins were actually just like a winking grin face. Like the way that the S was shaded made it look like a face.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things whenever you point it out and you're like, oh god, now I can't unsee it. But no, for Moraoka or fucking capital douchebag, I say, nah, fam. That's teeth.
Yeah.
That's teeth.
So, wow, that was fast. There isn't much.
And I can also sympathize with the main character's struggle of maybe moving to a smaller town from a clearly more centralized city area,
You know a place where you can get it cheap.
with all of the perks and irks that can come with it.
What about me?
There we go. There we go. She wants that beef.
It's like, how about we get some steak? And then she just comes running in like Roadrunner.
Pretty much, that's how I see it. Like the second someone starts uttering steak, Chie is there, right in the corner, glaring at you, ready to be like, "You inviting me? You're inviting me, right?"
Wow, Yukiko-san.
It's not like that. Well,
But yeah, I have been going through some of Yukiko's social link stuff, and
oh well. We should
I can understand why some people might find her boring, because she does like, she seems like kind of an obvious choice, and I really hate to say it like that. Like, trust me, it hurts to say that as much as I think it, but
This is the cheap place you
I don't know. She just seems like it's kind of the option where it's like, oh, romance Yukiko, okay,
Train, I had to.
okay. How's it feel to just have gray as your primary color? It's like,
Oh,
bro.
I moved here from another city about six. This location just.
But then again, I don't know what the canonical option is for P4 protagonist, because P5 protagonist, like, since Royal came out, it is hardwired evident that the romance option for the P5 protag is the new girl that showed up in Royal,
Yeah.
because there are just straight up entire segments and cutscenes where it's like you talk to her a whole lot, and she gets this huge segment towards the end of the game where you see a lot of revelations of her. It's like, okay, I get what you're saying, fam.
a lot of stores.
But I don't see that with Persona 4 and also Persona 3. I don't see what's the
Well,
canonical option.
I think
Which, I mean-
that's kind of maybe explored more in like the PQ games, if they are to go at it at all. And how should I put this? Like, at least with P4, the protag is leaving by the end of the game. Like they already told you when you go, like in this clip, it's not really a spoiler. You're only here for a year.
Yeah,
Once that year's up, you're gone. So it doesn't really
keeps that
matter.
uniform.
Totally, he does. You know it.
Yeah, that fucking uniform.
Yeah,
Like,
the uniform.
here's the thing. When it comes to school uniforms, sorry to interrupt you, but here's the thing. When it comes to school uniforms, these uniforms for Persona 4 are sleek and just like the perfect balance of the right amount of style and just simple enough to where they look a bit realistic too.
Kidding aside, you look down.
So,
Oh, it's
yeah.
nothing. I'm just.
But I think the issue with Persona in terms of its canonical options, quote unquote, is that these characters, these protags, are meant to sort of act as small blank slates for the player, you know?
Yeah, totally.
Like, that's the idea. But-
Especially with 3 and 4. 5, you can tell they're trying to be just a little more narrative with it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, to the point where, let's see, I
Kind of
think,
hand-holdly from what I've seen.
like, so far when it comes to Persona 5, seems like the most characterized of the cast, if that makes sense. Like, he's the most characterized of the protags.
Come on.
I mean, obviously, Persona 2 and 3, 1 and 2 notwithstanding, Like 3 and 4,
Oh, senpai?
they feel a bit blanker. Like they feel a bit more like, you know, you
They're
just put
Gordon
your answer.
Freemans, they're links. They're people that are just there for you to experience the world with.
Yeah, not that they wouldn't have their own characters, because apparently, and I just found out about this, but some dialogue options are kind of seen as the quote character options, like the options that Yu Narukami, Yuki Minato, Amami Aren would choose. Like and that's what characterizes them. Like Persona 3's protagonist apparently is like very emo. Persona 4 protag, apparently he's like a giant weirdo. And Persona 5 protag, he's kind of an asshole.
How can you get all excited?
Like, I like that personally, though. You know?
Yeah, we need more asshole protags.
Totally.
Of course
What are these protags that start as assholes?
Yeah. For me, it's just... I'm going to skip this because I know about the Midnight Channel.
Bing, bing, bing.
Essentially, yeah, I like that. Like, the anime does show him to be a bit of an asshole.
A 5?
Oh, wait, oh, no, 4. I'm like, dude,
Yeah, you're
the guy
talking-
we're playing
yeah,
is right
4.
now. He is known to be a fucking asshole. I love him.
Yeah, in Persona 5, yeah, the main character's like, I don't know about the anime. I haven't watched the anime because it's like poo-poo compared to the game. And I realize that's a very like
I'm
obvious
surprised by
statement,
that.
but it's like visually it is like duller than anything. It's duller than a stage combat replica sword. That's how dull it is.
Wow.
Yeah. It's like Nerf sword dull. So, yeah, when it comes to the Persona 4 anime, and I can vouch for this because I own it and saw it in its entirety, there are moments where it's like, oh yeah, Yutar Kami's kind of a weirdo. Like the straight up, like the segment of the game where some of the cast straight up get drunk and he lets Yukiko and Chie sit on him. Kind of,
Oh, dude,
not really.
I just realized. Oh my god.
What?
That's the chick we were talking to with Yosuke, wasn't it?
Yes. Who
Okay.
else have you seen lately has that hair?
Dude, I guess it's because I played it on the PS2 on a CRT with really low resolution, but I never got that.
Well, there you go. She has the
now
uniform.
It makes sense.
No. We heard that you found.
There you go.
Okay, cool.
Who'd have thunk resolution actually gives you revelations? Wah! Sorry if I blew your ears out with that one.
Yeah, it's okay.
So the cause of death is still unknown.
So, one of the one of the most particularly characterizing moments in 5 that I at least heard about. So you know, in Persona 5, you can romance your homeroom teacher. Like, she's actually a romanceable option.
Who?
And in Persona 5, one of your social links is your homeroom teacher, and she is one of your romance options.
Oh no. Oh no.
And she actually brings up that fact when you're like, I like you too, and you're about to become a couple. She's like, but I'm your, and it's like, well, I am your teacher after all. And the canonical option from the dialogue points that pop up at that segment, the canonical option is that he says, that's the best part.
Oh. Oh boy. Oh.
And you wonder why a lot of people want a college-age Persona game.
Dude, that could be worse, man. That could be worse, and you know it. Oh,
I know,
God.
but at the very least, they'd be of a more consenting age.
I don't know. It's the SMT spirit to keep it a little younger, I guess.
I don't know. I wanted. God, I wish we were next to each other so I could see your reaction to that. Because I could feel how uncomfortable that must have made you.
I don't know if I call it uncomfortable, but it's something. It's something.
Because The thing is, I'm not above not choosing the older romance options in Persona games.
These
My fucking
freaking FMVs are so compressed.
oh, you're not a fan of the look of this so far, of
Like,
the anime cutscenes.
yeah, the anime cutscenes. The main thing for me is like, you can tell their age just because of like how pixelated certain elements of them are. Like, you can tell it was made to be displayed in like 440, and then they've essentially just upscaled it to 1080 without like actually updating the source.
Well, Jordan, think about it this way: at the
God.
very least, the game's on PC. This
No, totally.
is a this is a nitpick. What
It
you're
is,
what
it
you're
is.
talking about right now with this is a nitpick.
Yeah, like PXS2 as an emulator, I'll be honest, it probably doesn't run this game as well as this port actually is running. So, you know, yeah, I'm fine with this.
Take your blessings where you get them.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't know, the game looked different when I was in high school on a CRT. Like, I remember it looking a bit different, and now I'm watching it and I'm like, huh. Yeah, that looks a little odd. Jump in. Nope, just smack your head.
I'm coming for you, SpongeBob. You just say that. Oh God. See, like, I wish there was a dialogue option there, where Nanako's like, "Are you okay?" And
It's just like,
and
no.
you'd have the option to go like, "It's fine, I just stubbed my toe," or "I had a bad dream," or "Don't open the door."
Oh God, that'd be hilarious.
That would have been so funny.
He would be the kind who's just like, "Don't open the door."
Sorry.
Oh God. So yeah, I mean, as I was saying, I'm not above choosing the older romance options in Persona games. Granted, I haven't really done much of the romance stuff, and I didn't do any romance in 3 when I played it, and I romanced Chie in 4. In Golden, I'm still gonna hold off until I see the nurse character to make my full decision. But in Persona 5, I fucking went with Takemi all the way, the doctor character, for anybody that wants to know who I'm talking about. She does something for me, man. And yeah, it's like, yeah, I understand the creep factor about it because they are high school age, but these are characters, you know? It's like it's a very, very weird line to cross. Or not line to cross, more like it's a very weird... I don't even know how to describe it. I don't know how to describe it.
I'm just saying it right now. If Amanda was ever a teacher, bam, right there. That's it.
It's like, because I watch a streamer play Persona 5 Royal, and it's like his first time going through, and he's kind of not a fan of a lot of the older options because he's like, this is why we need a Persona in college so that it's not, doesn't feel as creepy.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just more on like perspective of the player, because
Yeah.
I don't feel it creepy at all because, you know, it's like, granted, it's an adult going out with a high schooler, so it's kind of it is a bit of a taboo relationship, even if it's not just Japan. But maybe it's because I'm 23 and I just see it as my type. I don't know. It's a very odd discussion point.
Yeah.
But it is a discussion point that probably needs to be expounded upon. Certainly by people that can articulate it way better than I can.
Oh yeah.
Because, boy howdy, did I stammer all over myself there.
With the body being hung upside down.
Like Porky Pig trying to sound like a philosopher.
That's all, folks.
Is it supposed to be?
Basically, but you get best to be or to do not to be.
My senpai told me it was a third year in Saki who found
I don't even know if I did that right.
That actually was pretty decent. Oh man.
God, I remember when I was in fucking film appreciation class in high school, and it was the one moment where we were in an animation segment in the curriculum, and he showed us a Porky Pig clip where Porky like smacked his thumb with a hammer, and he goes, "Wait, son of a biscuit." And then he turns to the audience. And he just goes, "I thought you said I was going to say son of a bitch, huh?" And I was like, "Ah, poor pig can't say son of a bitch." Weird.
Yeah, I know. I know. Oh god, it reminds me of this old Western film. There was like this kid who had a stutter, and then like John Wayne, like gets him to call John Wayne a son of a bitch, and like he's so mad it gets rid of the stutter. And then John Wayne is like, "You see, you were normal all along. Someone just had to get you mad enough. So stop being a little bitch."
It's the Super Saiyan principle. In order to progress, you just get really pissed.
Dude, like, I don't remember if it's like Western Dove or what it's called, but dude, that's like one of the best moments in freaking film history. Like, this kid's like, "I can't do it. You can't do it." And then, like, you know, he's stammered all over himself. And this dude's like, "Come on." And, like, starts beating on him. And he's like, "You're a son of a bitch." He just yells it straight out. He's like, "See, you could do it."
And the thing is, it's like the proper context, so it's not like you can't get mad at him for not using it right.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, that's the funny thing a lot of the times when it comes to swearing, is like, when a kid learns to swear, you only reprimand them, like, obviously you reprimand your kids if they're swearing at a super early age, but when it comes to them using it in the, how do you go about teaching them, hey, you can't say those things yet?
And we saw the same girl?
How should I know? How about you? Did you see?
Oh, and Chie bringing up the fact that the Midnight Channel soulmate is a girl for her is like, Chie, the signs are clear for you, gal.
Yeah.
But weird
I
voices-
mean, people already probably ship her and Yukiko like crazy.
Oh, dude, they do.
Must've just
They
fallen
always
asleep
have.
in front of your TV.
That'd be one I like the part where you got stuck because your TV was too
'Cause, like,
small. If it had been
Chie is clearly like Chie gives off like
That reminds me.
the bi princess guardian vibes, or at the very least lesbian princess guardian, where it's like, you know, there's clearly something going on there. I mean, I don't know if it is the case or not. Nothing's confirmed. And, you know, people pointed out in the comments, I don't know, Yukiko shippers. And
It's a pretty big
Yuchie, oh god, I hate that word I just made up. The Yukiko and Chie shippers. They'll probably sound off in the comments. I don't fucking know.
Who knows? Oh, God, I just remember all this. Like, I don't know, there's just so much nostalgia in playing through this.
Yes, there is. The fact that flat screen TVs cost a newborn child and a kidney.
That's why we don't have clerk.
They were a fucking rich person item.
Yeah.
Hence why everybody owns CRT TVs, likely more often than not.
Nope, can't get in.
You know, I'm confident if you just walked up to a TV on display at a store and you'd like put your hand against it, the staff would probably be like, could you not? Or in the memeified version, can you don't?
This one over here.
What? That's not cheap at all.
I should have asked what you meant by.
You got connections, right?
You know I can't do that.
I really like Chie's voice actress.
Hey, how about this?
I find it a little hard to get used to because, again, I played original Persona 4, and I frankly kind of think this voice actress goes a little too hard.
I don't know, it sounds
I mean,
right
it
to me.
fits her personality more as a spunky tomboy. I understand that, but there are just some points where I'm just kind of like, girl, could you, like, not sound like you're yelling constantly? But I'm not a voice actor. What should I know? I'm just a guy that can do a half-decent Porky Pig impersonation.
You gotta be.
Like you said, oh dear, I gotta put my hand on all this TV.
Actually, I sound more like Popeye.
For real. So how does it work, huh?
Just jump through.
Hey, don't do
It's Bikini Bottom in here. I can finally try that Krabby Patty.
God. You like it, don't you, Squidward?
You like Krabby Patties, don't you, Squidward?
God, yeah.
Are you feeling it, Mr. Krabs?
crap.
Well, I
Are you feeling it, Mr. Krabs?
Jordan, your voice is not high enough to do SpongeBob. I'm just gonna tell you outright, buddy.
Oh, I know it's not.
I'm just ripping the Band-Aid off right now for you, friend.
No, I know I can't. And I'm also kind of sick. I've had bad allergies for the last few days.
Okay, thank God, just allergies. You can't say sick nowadays and not have concern immediately spike.
Yeah, you know, I just got like a stuffy nose and a bit of a coof.
You know, I just coughed some blood out. I have a fever. It's not that bad.
You know, just had impromptu surgery done on my toe today. It's great.
God. And then, of course, by some PS2 collision magic, I like the effect of when you go into the TV world. This is trippy.
Dude, I love it.
Like, I feel like I need 3D glasses to look at it properly.
You don't, but I can see why you'd think that.
Because there's like that slight red and blue outline that reminds me of the old 3D glasses that were red and blue.
I think that's the point.
Yeah.
What is this?
Very nice.
Some place inside Juness?
Hell no, it isn't. I mean, we fell through a TV. Actually, what is going on here?
God, like, it's so weird seeing the anime scenes. Like,
It is.
I don't know why. I feel like they aren't on model, even though I realize that the game models are based off of, like, the anime drawings. But, like,
It
even
is.
this portrait looks different than she does in the cutscene.
It is kind of a weird disconnect. But I mean, that's probably because the anime cutscenes, more often than not, are done by like different animation studios. Because I know for certain the Persona 5 anime cutscenes were done by Production IG, which were the studios behind, I think it was Ghost in the Shell the movie, along with Standalone Complex.
Like this in Inaba.
And I don't know who did the Persona 4 anime cutscenes. Let me look that up, actually.
Okay.
But I can at least tell you for certain it was not Atlus. Atlus probably just did the portraits, and they just commissioned another studio to do the cutscenes.
It's likely.
Which way did we come in?
So are we just gonna play this episode out until we get like our first Persona?
Yeah. Like, I don't even know if I have space on my hard drive for that, so while we're, like, standing still, I'm gonna see if OBS is even still recording.
It still is.
Yeah, it's still recording. Why not? Let's keep going.
No.
All right. Well, I mean, better. All right. If you feel all right by that.
Yeah, like, it doesn't take that long to get Izanage, just like 4 hours or something.
And
Dude,
yeah,
this game is
as
so
I mentioned,
long.
it's not just that it's long. It's just that it's so long before you actually get into any kind of gameplay too.
It really is. It really is.
Cross our fingers and look around.
That's the kind of thing that I can understand about
Like P3,
about studios.
At least like in P3, you got to the gameplay pretty freaking fast.
And
like,
P5 also, like
yeah,
Persona 5 also got to gameplay pretty quickly. This
yeah, like P3, it was like maybe half an hour or something interacting with everybody. Then you're on a rooftop and you shoot yourself in the head. Like, it was pretty fucking fast. P4, well, hello. This is visual novel, not visual novel, interactive game. Simulator. Do you want to play a game? How about we tell you a story first?
I'm just gonna tell you a simple story about a happy little town full of happy little people.
Looks like we're in some kind of building, but
Are you
Okay.
sure we're not-
It was.
I know.
No, it wouldn't.
What?
What? Hold on. I'm double checking on this just to make sure it's actually the right source.
no service.
Can you
All right, this is
please
for
look
original
at
Persona 4, but whatever. Gameplay, development, remake, spin-offs.
It's a dead.
Keeps getting creepy. My bladder.
is it.
You're going here.
Not a very engaging.
I will say this. Why does
Oh,
it
that's
keep
right.
in a
Yosuke tries to
freaking
pee in front of
corner?
everybody.
Like I
That's right. Yosuke just tries to pee in front of everybody.
Like, dude, here's my thing. The door's open.
this room.
There's a corner right there. You would get at least like a smidge more privacy if you just, went into the freaking corner instead of saying, "Yep, I'm gonna pee right on the flat of this wall."
No, it's like that meme I shared with you a few times. Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary! Look at how hard I can pee.
Dude, I like that noose is like
It's tied
red
in a
sash.
noose.
It's kind of cool.
Come on.
I mean, it's what ends up connecting Kanji to all this.
Yeah. Oh god.
No, not the golden animation. That's a shitty anime. No, I want to know what studio did the anime cutscenes. God damn it.
And I'm not
Publisher.
Now that you
Da, 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 da,
let's
da.
go back.
Phew. Wait.
There's something.
There he is. The best boy. The nihilist who never has to
What
blink.
is this thing? A monkey?
Okay, some say cutscene lag.
That's what I
Fucking-
want to know. Who are you guys?
Well, what are
Yeah, I can't find it. I don't know who it is. I mean, I saw one forum thread that say it was Studio Bones, which if that's the case, I'm just like, okay, that's interesting because they're like a favorite of mine in terms of anime studios, but I don't know who it is. If you know who it is, sound off in the comments, please. I would love to know.
Huh? Throwing people. I don't know who's doing it. I just want them
Yeah,
to think.
probably my favorite cutscene interaction with Teddy
your problem?
comes shortly after this when you investigate the liquor store, and it's like, huh, Teddy's unusual. He's like our backup, and it gives the prompt of like touch him, push him, or hit him, and then you just do one of the options, and he's on his back like a turtle, and he goes, no!
Damn it.
And I'm like, that is the best thing ever.
Well, that's why I'm
Yeah.
saying I'll let. Like I keep saying, we don't know where the. Wait. What the?
Now, I have a question for you, Jordan. If that
What's going on now? Whoa!
floor texture was a rug, would you own that rug?
Totally.
Okay,
Dude,
because there are a lot of
I'm a hard floor and rug kind of man. Let me tell you right now.
understandable. Don't ever get rug carpet floors, everybody, especially if you have dogs.
Oh god, no.
Never do that. Spillage and various pleasant doggy treats all over the place.
Attention shoppers. Our daily limited time sale will now be. Why not try the delicious fresh produce Juness picked for you this morning as your all age.
Oh god, I can actually hear the like I literally can't hear it because we're doing this through Discord, so I can't hear the audio of the game. But it's like seeing that store announcement makes me actually hear it in my head.
Hey, you're right. They're the same. I couldn't tell before. She's been on something about her husband having an affair.
Hey, so does that
So yeah,
mean
it
the
just,
room was
this
in-
game does kind of meander a bit in the first couple hours in order to get the gameplay going, admittedly.
I'm gonna wipe
That's probably the biggest flaw that I could say, along with like certain other JRPGs as well.
Let's go home.
Like,
I can get it, but also this game just did it so odd.
yeah, like it's slow burns can be necessary sometimes, and sometimes they work, but sometimes a slow burn doesn't exactly feel like a burn. It feels more like a malfunctioning heated chair,
Anything about a student named.
if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, we've got people looking for her, but.
And now,
I'm so tired.
That's the one thing I worry about with joining law enforcement, but it's like, God, people gotta do that shit. It's crazy.
Well, I mean, wouldn't you just become? Actually, I should not say anything. I should not say anything. Because considering events around the news nowadays, I don't want to reveal too much about what's going on in our personal lives.
Fair. Fair.
Especially when it comes to career choices.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, this is what I was talking about earlier when it came to like, oh, the teenage daughter, and then the reporter interviews her, and he's like, hey, high school girl, you gonna tell us about this murder lady? Okay, that's cool. What about you, though? Because fucking, of course. Also, isn't it kind of disturbing for a little girl to be in the same room as a TV that's talking about murder?
Not really. I consider that kind of normal.
I don't.
Like, I don't know. I feel like even if I was born a girl, it's just, you know, sometimes the news is on, things come up. You hear about it, but you're a kid. Like, it doesn't affect you directly or anything.
I don't know. Maybe it's like a different kind of upbringing type of thing where it's like, I think that I'm not for certain, but I feel like my parents would have probably taken me out of the room if like repeated talks of murders were going on the news.
Maybe. I don't know.
But then again, I don't know. And here comes the tipping point.
Yep.
That is pretty disturbing, not gonna lie.
I really like the positioning. Like, it's pretty good. It's just creepy enough. Like, it just gets the point across.
Like it's not to the point of like torture porn, but it's not tame enough to where it's like, oh no, she's just sleeping.
No, or like, I like, how should I put this? Like, the fact that the wires are wrapped around her right leg, and you can tell like how the body's being supported, because the cloth is static. Like, the body is frozen in time. It's not grotesque, but it's definitely
it's not like
eerie.
It's not like she got fucking Doom Glory killed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's an eerie kind of beauty.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
I feel so sorry for Nanako.
Yeah, I mean, as we said, her dad's a detective, and he can barely ever be at home. And quiz shows and Junez are her only comfort in life.
I just want to give her some bacon.
Fly her to America and give her some of that American bacon.
Yeah, just be like, little girl, here's some bacon. You need it.
I heard some yelling, but nothing. Jeez.
I'd probably take her to Schlitterbahn.
I mean, that's also a thing you could do.
God, I haven't been to Schlitterbahn in so long.
Me either.
But then again, I don't live in Texas, and also I'm not a fan of water parks.
Same. That's my thing. Like, I'm not a huge swimmer.
I like swimming. It's just I prefer to do it in stuff like lakes or catfish ponds because I stayed at a B&B that had a pool/catfish pond. I got to swim with my dog. And then I also caught that big ass 7-pound catfish I showed you.
I just like how they let her wear that headdress and carry around a hook.
I mean, look at what the principal's wearing.
This is true, but
they do not discriminate against cosplay.
But here's my thing. At least, like, he's wearing traditional, like, a Japanese happy coat, a sash, a robe underneath, and then hakama. Like, that's just all traditional clothes. So it's like, okay, it makes sense in this setting. He's Japanese, he's wearing traditional clothes. Maybe he was a martial artist at some point. I'm not really sure why he's wearing hakama, but he is.
Maybe he's secretly a crime boss.
He could be. But yeah, like her, it's just, yep, I'm in a normal, like, you know, business attire, but I'm wearing an Egyptian headdress and a hook.
I mean, there's also the ventriloquist teacher.
Yeah.
And then there's also apparently that teacher, like the Egyptian teacher's brother, who wears a samurai helmet, unironically.
Oh my god, I just remembered that. I can't wait to see that.
I don't think he shows up in this game.
Oh man,
In fact, I think he's a Persona 3 character.
probably.
Is he?
I don't
I don't-
freaking remember, but I do remember there's a character with a samurai helmet, and I'm like, dude, if they're related, that makes so much sense.
Yeah, and she actually gives him shit for it, apparently. Like, she bad talks him.
Huh.
Like, these two bitches that are just like, oh my god, like, oh, the murder. Let's gossip, gossip, gossip. And I'm just like, ugh.
She totally looked like she was. Sounds like someone. The media's been broadcasting their interviews with her nonstop.
Okay, I will say, like, certain scenes, like, in the Dojima house, and now, like, here in the halls, having the contrast all the way up, although it makes some things look really good, also makes some things look really bad.
Makes the hallways look darker than they actually are.
Well, like, you just see that red book hovering there, and you can
Guys, check out the
barely
TV
even
outside.
detect the outline of the table.
Ah, I didn't even. Yeah, I just noticed that.
Just listen for
Or
a
actually,
minute.
maybe that's not a. Oh, that's probably not a red book. That might be a
Bet watch the-
fire extinguisher container, or maybe a trash can.
It could be. But you don't freaking know, because it's just pitch black.
I think the girl.
That's why I don't have the contrast all the way up.
Then. What? Maybe Ms. Yamano might have been on that.
Yeah, so it's like I think my senpai went into the tizzy and died.
Something tells me. I just. Plus, remember what that bear thing said? How that place was dangerous. It also said that someone's been in that room with the posters on the wall. It has to have something to do with the announcement. I mean, couldn't that world in the TV have?
Also, when I originally played this, I misremembered the first murder. I thought it was the singer that was killed, and the announcer was
Which means.
the wife of the political figure, but no, it was the other way around.
Yosuke,
Yeah.
The political figure that has like the Sung from Final Fantasy VII Buddha dot on his head.
Rely on the police? They haven't made any progress. Besides, even if we told them, if I'm completely off base.
Yeah, I'm confident if you told the cops, "Hey, we got thrown into TV, and my upperclassman died due to TV,"
There's no way.
they'd probably just think like, "Listen, kid, weed's a very weird drug."
Dude, we
I don't know.
wouldn't even make you do that. I would be like, did you smoke crack before talking to me? Or are
Did
you
you
on
take-
shrooms?
LSD?
LSD? Heroin? Ecstasy? Did you, like, pop a tab?
You crack a bottle, let your body waddle. Don't act like a starving model. You just hit the lotto. Uh-oh, bitches hopping in my Tahoe.
I'm gonna
Oh
go
my
get ready.
god, keep going.
Waiting for you at Jeanette's.
I don't remember the rest of the lyrics.
Me either.
I just remember that bit. Because that's the most memorable bit of the song.
I can, but we can't be sure we'll be able. What? You serious?
Yep, we're just doing this. We're just doing this.
Let's
Yep.
go, Jeanette.
Soon, people. Soon we will reach gameplay.
Eventually we'll reach gameplay. Let's just save your... Yes, I would, because you can totally die when you first learn how to play the game. It's like, I remember how to play a Persona game, but also, even on normal, like, Persona's hard as hell.
Guys came.
Well,
Well, there's
Persona
certain
5
situations that are hard.
Persona 5 on normal is super easy. Persona 4 can actually be a bit rough
Dude,
on normal.
especially Lego Boss. Fuck.
Actually, I think he's just 8-bit boss, but I understand what you mean by
8-bit
Lego boss.
Lego
And
Boss. I don't care. That... like, that literally took me a month to get through. The first time
Yeah.
I played it. Like, I rezzed, grinded as much as I could. I just could not get past that thing. I was like,
did you know that apparently that boss is a reference to 3D Dot Hero? That was another Atlus game.
doesn't surprise
Like,
me.
that very same boss sprite apparently is like a hero design in that game, and I'm confident if you saw that hero design in 3D Dot Hero, you'd probably have like a PTSD attack or something.
Probably. Like, it does give me PTSD because I'm not looking forward to getting to that point.
Yeah, it's along with the fact that you have to save that fish-eyed weirdo. It's like, really? You're saving the guy that was just, like,
Don't worry, I'm not going in
being all, like, internet nice guy to Yukiko?
this tied to me.
You know what I mean. And I'm not just talking to Jordan, I'm talking to you, audience. You know what I mean.
Obtained. Golf club.
I thought it might be
Dude, one thing I wish they would add to this game is actual, like, different weapon models.
Different weapon models? Like, dude, they've
go of the rope.
all the weapons
They got
have
a few,
different.
but not every weapon, at least not in the original game that I remember, actually has its own unique models. And then, like, as you added different clothes and armor, I remember over time, like, you just had the base model. So I'm like, I would like some more customization stuff to happen.
Well, you have costumes. You have costumes for certain. I know that because you're actually given some costume options early on. You're given like a school jersey and winter clothes, so that you don't, so that you're not always in the school uniforms in the dungeons. But different models for weapons. I'm confident that the models for weapons are always different looking.
Okay. Well, I don't remember it that way. I know, like, the broadsword is like a double-handed Swihander. I know there's the katana, of course. I know about the golf club, but I don't remember all the weapons having their own unique, like, models.
Look, this is
Yeah, me neither, but at the very least, I'm confident that I remember that much, that they all have a unique model in some regard.
I like that teddy face. That was cool.
I get it.
That teddy face is probably perfect as a reaction image,
Probably, yeah.
Wait, what?
out of context reaction images, which I think, is that a Twitter account? If it's not, then it should be. Considering that fucking there's an out of context Twitter for almost everything, out of context YouTube clips, out of context virtual YouTubers, Propane out of context, which is just King of the Hill,
Couldn't get out.
Pokemon out of context. It's just too much out of context shit.
All this talk about someone
Context is for the weak.
Does he mean did that someone throw those hey,
They accidentally fell in.
let's
Yeah, it was totally an accident because, only one person so far that we know of can even open the portal in the TV, so...
They slipped on a Mario-style banana peel.
that someone's throwing if that
What are you guys mumbling about?
That's the only explanation.
Remember how
yeah, whatever. We don't need your help this time. See? What? Hey, you better let us out once we're done investigating here.
I'm the one who wants to investigate. I've lived here for a long time. Do you have proof?
Doesn't work that way, friend.
The last time, it's not us. Hey, you better answer our questions. This isn't like last time when we listen up, because people have died in our world. Every time the fog appears, a dead
And
body-
soon enough we'll be getting the iconic Persona 4 glasses.
Dead body. I know that if it's foggy on you, it's really dangerous when the fog lifts. That's when the shadows get violent.
It's just, the zipper is the most uncanny thing about Teddy, actually, in terms of his look. Like,
Foggy on our side.
the whole body is fine, but it's just the zipper that's odd.
It's dangerous
It
when that
really kind
happens.
of has a weird spot for it.
Okay, no more.
Like, maybe if the zipper wasn't around his head like a collar,
Had it with
I'm just.
like if it was just kind of from the top of his head down to his lower back or something, I don't know.
this bear.
But then again, it probably, if they did that, then it probably wouldn't be as comical for Yosuke to be like, oh, pop your head off and see who's in there.
Then it's nothing.
Weird show?
Just like Full Metal Alchemist.
Asking if someone's been
This world has always been like this.
And then, of course, Teddy has his whole fish out of water moments. It's like, what's filming? What's scoring a hot stud?
Or what you are either, for that matter. You keep telling us to prove our innocence, but maybe you're the. What's with that stupid costume?
And
Whoa!
pop. And yet, for some reason, he's able to grow his own human twink in there.
Yep.
I just want to live. Oh, but I want you to find the real promise. You little. This can't keep going on. My home, and then.
What are you crying? Jeez, this thing's real.
Okay, so for Persona 3, we had a dog. Persona 4, a bear. Persona 5, a cat. I wonder what the mascot for Persona 6 would be.
An armadillo.
We'll put a pin in that option. Maybe a hedgehog?
Possible.
You're
An
the only
iguana.
ones I can ask. Will you promise me?
A bird?
A plane.
It's a Superman?
Damn bear. But
Let's see. What would be a good mascot?
so far we're completely.
Because it needs to have round features, because that's the thing about mascots that
My word, too.
people like, is that a lot of them have very rounded features, so they need to appear cute.
But how are we supposed to find the culprit in the first place?
In fact, that's kind of why Morgana has like a very like ovular head, and yet his body is so small.
Last
Mhm.
person.
And Teddy is essentially shaped like an egg.
I mean the person who
Yeah.
came in and disappeared last time. I don't know the name.
And I mean, the dog is just a dog. So, immediately, it's just like, best.
These
Yeah.
glasses.
Oh boy. There we go. Now we're getting into gameplay.
Finally.
Whoa! The difference is like night and day.
They'll help you. Well, I've been here for a long.
You know, if Teddy's able to make glasses like these, he could probably kill as like an eyewear manufacturer.
There better not be any monsters, you understand? We brought weapons, but I mean, we just got here. If it's so dangerous.
Yeah, more for show. It's not like you could really harm an otherworldly creature with a golf club. Can Teddy really not fight? Here's the moment I was talking about. No! This is my favorite. It's my favorite thing.
Is all the backup we get?
Watching him squirm like that is just hilarious to me. I don't know why.
That doesn't matter right. Anyways, at
Oh,
least
man.
now we know. Maybe we can
I
find
mean,
more
it is
information too.
quite comical.
What? Where?
Oh man, I forgot about this.
Looks just
Forgot
like
about the sky.
Let's go.
Yeah,
Looking like that.
Dude, that's cool.
It's a pretty trippy image.
Some
I love
weird
it.
places of a. Things are getting.
By the way, why are you standing so far from us?
The thing is, even when you get Teddy as a party member, I was never really using him that much at all.
Yeah,
He wasn't-
I immediately replaced Chair with
You
him.
really went all out on.
I kept GA
How should
Yeah.
because he just was not up to snuff comparatively. He wasn't putting up the good numbers.
This is our shopping district.
Yeah. We can do
I
this.
knew it. Does this mean what could have happened? What?
They're here.
Huh?
There we go. We're finally starting to play.
Yes, a video game is starting now. Look, it's a bunch of mucks. It's legally distinct muck.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Turned into... You know, I always find it disturbing when a monster has human teeth like that. Like, am I the only one that thinks this, that monsters with human teeth of that kind are incredibly, like, disturbing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's always been a thing with people I've noticed.
Somehow,
I also love how, like, the card just randomly appears.
I have that as a coaster.
Nice. Also, that
but-
grin, like, the way the light's shining on him, it's like, I'm about to kill somebody. I don't know why, like, I just get straight up murder vibes off of the pro tag.
Well, I mean, it's essentially consequence-free violence,
I mean,
considering that they're,
yeah.
like, just orbs of darkness.
Yeah. Well, Teddy kind of insinuates that they are at least mildly sentient. They just become violent when the fog is away.
Yeah, and the more sentient ones are just the reflections of others, as we will soon find out. Also, does Izanagi have a cog piece?
Yes, he does.
Why does he have a cog piece? That's very weird.
I mean, nothing wrong with cod pieces.
But why does he have it?
Groin armor, so he can't get punted in the dick.
Punted by what? These things are just mouths.
I mean, if you had a tongue that muscular and the ability to defy gravity, I'm imagining you could probably whip with it pretty forcefully.
I can tell this one has a.
That'd be a weird fan art. Just saying. Also, these things, if I remember right, are weak to electricity, and Izanagi is primarily electricity. And when you start fusing personas together, you're gonna want to keep electricity on personas that you primarily use, at least until you get kanji.
Yeah.
Just saying. And another thing is that people keep joking about what the animations for the Persona Awakening would be in Persona 6, because it's like Persona 3, it's a gun, they shoot themselves in the head. Persona 4, they crush a card. Persona 5, they tear off a mask. What would 6 be? Like, unironically, I want to say drawing your weapon. Like, say character X has a sword and they have Persona Y, and the sword's in a scabbard. Like, normal combat with like non-persona use would be just smacking them with the scabbard while the sword's in it, but then your persona summoning would be like draw the sword out. Does that make sense?
Gosh almighty, you're a
Jordan?
Oh, I'm sorry. I kind of spaced out, and I'm like just staring at the screen trying to keep things moving. Sorry.
You're good. You're good. But you got what I mean, at least, right? Draw weapons out of their holdings to summon persona.
Oh yeah, that would make sense.
Although that would make it awkward with something like tonfas where they're blunt.
Oh, I mean, then like a tonfa is usually strapped to you. Like, you might have one of those like little clasps around a loop on your belt loop that's going through the handle. So you either lift it through the clasp, and then it's literally in defense position, or you would pop the clasp, grab it, and then either grab it by the side handle or hold it by the bottom and use it like a club.
Okay. Makes sense. I don't know. I just thought the idea of like drawing your weapons as summoning your persona would be a fun idea, but I don't know. I'm not a concept person.
We could also just go to the point where it's like, cut yourself.
No.
There's like emo persona.
No.
The deeper the wound, the more powerful the soul.
No. No, Jordan, no.
Dude, I'm sorry. I would just see it as something that could happen.
I mean, if it were maybe mainline SMT, I could see it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if they went back to like Persona 1 and 2 roots and like try to connect more to SMT, like I could see that kind of stuff flying.
Yeah. Yeah. But it'd be really hard to figure out what would be a good persona summoning. What would look good in an animation?
Stabbing yourself in the heart.
No, Jordan. Jordan.
I'm sorry, dude. I am like one-track minded right now.
I realize Walmart's making you kind of punchy, but come on, fam. And yeah, this is for this. If Saki did not die, if we would have gotten here sooner, we would have probably had Saki as a party member.
Yeah.
If this were the case. But yeah, her family hates her because she's working with the competition. The neighbors talk behind her back.
It's the photo we took the other day with. Why is it cut up like this?
I never.
And here's the moment.
I
Oh,
I was nice to him just because he
just
stole
twist the
my
knife while it's in there, why don't you?
takes it completely the wrong way and gets all in
God, how is the
cares about because of that
a
story.
dip?
All business is ruined. My
Yeah.
parents
I
hate
mean,
me. The neighbors
if she
attack
said
me.
moron, that would have brought it across, or idiot, but
Everything
dip?
would just disappear.
I mean, slang, different
Slang,
time.
It's not like that.
yeah, slang, I guess.
It's so sad.
And here we are. Actually, I find it kind of weird that Yosuke's shadow shows up here. Like, there's
In a
no...
way, yes, but
Two Yosuke?
I kind of like that it does, because, like, at this point, all we really know about Yosuke is he is a bit of a philanderer. He likes playing around, and he actually did have feelings for this girl. The only reason he wanted to come here is to figure out what happened to her. Like, that's all we really know about him at this point. And now, yeah, here's this other half, and it's like, he learns the truth. She kind of hated his guts, and the shadow just pops up, and he's like, you know what? No. Honestly, I feel like everything is a pain in the ass.
Who are you?
And,
I wouldn't think
you know, that's the thing. It starts the confrontation. It's like, maybe she was right for hating you. What are you not telling yourself? Like,
Yeah.
why are you this way to other people? Like, this really is a good time to introduce the shadow.
Yes, when you start to question yourself as to how you truly feel about the situations and people that surround you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is the response that you think others would agree with? Like, essentially, what is your real response versus what is your, you know, expected subconscious? Like, what's the subconscious response? What's the like the socially acceptable response? Because if Yosuke acted like everything was like his shadow here, then, you know, fucking yeah. But he denies all of it because it's like, no, I'm just happy-go-lucky. I'm a nice guy. I don't think everybody's a pain. I don't think the world's boring as nuts. Yeah, like he didn't want to be the goofball that got stuck inside a trash can and got kicked in the nad for breaking a Kung Fu DVD.
Yeah.
Although breaking a Kung Fu DVD is the greatest sin on humankind.
It's on the list.
It's right up there with ripping Attack off a mattress.
Like, I don't know. I really freaking enjoy the characters in this game. I really do.
Yeah, that's actually something that a lot of people say they prefer 4 with over 5, is that it feels a lot more personal of a journey because you're interacting with these characters' darker halves.
Yeah.
Whereas, like...
And that's one thing I'll say about at least the shadows in this game. Like, sometimes they really are overplayed, like... Man, I'm not even thinking of the word, but, like, essentially, they extend the negative feelings. Like,
well, I mean, that's kind of the idea, is that they're meant to be caricatures of their darker selves.
Exactly. They're caricatures. Like, they're not even on point sometimes. They just go out there.
Yeah.
And I freaking love it.
And whereas in Persona 5, it's like they're caricatures of other people that, granted, are horrible human beings, but there's a reason why a lot of people say, like, oh, I prefer the growth in Persona 4 because it feels like you're just experiencing this as you gain your party members. Like, I don't know. I just see why people prefer the cast here. And I could certainly say that the cast here does feel very unified. And yeah, this is the other thing that I didn't remember about this game. Apparently defending can negate the elemental weaknesses that Persona users can have, which was like, wow, that's something I did not remember from 5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like, because that didn't
actually is a thing.
That didn't exist in 5. But yeah, this fight isn't too bad so long as you just know when to defend properly against that Winds of Oblivion move. Because if you just keep getting knocked on your ass, then frankly, you're gonna have a bad time. And so long as you just are able to knock him down with lightning, because Yosuke Wind, protect lightning. And frankly, I'd recommend you probably use lightning over increasing your defense.
Yeah. I don't know. I play defensively usually because
I get what you mean. I get what you mean.
Character die, and you lose entire battles. So
I get Jordan. I get what you mean, but this is the first real boss in the game.
Yeah, that's true.
I think you need to guard too, or at the very least heal up.
Yeah, I could go ahead and at least use a heal.
You use the medicine. Best you do, because you are getting low. Okay, so when he guards, that's pretty much the signal to guard yourself.
Yeah.
At the very least, he wastes a turn laughing maniacally.
This is true. This is true.
I kind of like that little bit of programming when it comes to games. I see it a lot in Dragon Quest 2, where it's like, villain laughs maniacally instead of, using their turn to attack. It just kind of speaks a bit to their character. It's like, oh wow, they're that full of themselves. And you do have some SP restoring items from the get-go. Just thought I had to give you a heads up about that.
Oh, I know. You get the 3 healing items and 2 soul drops.
That's not gonna work.
Guard. There you go.
You're getting to be a real pain. All right, I'm out of the way.
It's going to attack! Defend yourself!
Or Teddy, or
we just knock
zap.
him down.
It's going to attack! Defend yourself!
No, yeah.
Knock him down.
Don't underestimate me.
I mean, he's still gonna attack, but he's a lot weaker.
Yeah, he's getting a bit droopy.
Hell.
I recommend saving some of your SP items, because they are pretty rare.
They really are.
Guard.
Yeah, we know this.
Yes. So, Jordan, as we near the end of this gameplay section, and probably get close to a save point, I want to ask you, you want to make this sort of do you want to actually do a full LP of this? Because considering that this is a 2-hour-long video, most like...
Yeah, I do, but I might do some, grinding in the backgrounds, because, let's face it, you have to in this game.
Yes. Well, considering where you are at in the story right now, grinding's not quite possible yet.
Yeah, no, I still got, another 3 to 4 hours. And I feel like this is honestly another, good, how should I say this, video we can do, level up yours on.
Yeah.
It's a good way just to kind of commune and kill the time.
Yeah, something like that. Maybe as, an ongoing thing where it's, sort of a podcast Let's Play commentary? I don't know how to put it.
It's different, and I'm cool with that.
Because, Lord knows, an LP of this would not be unwelcome, but considering the normal format of them would be 10 minutes to half an hour per episode, it's would you guys watching this, people watching this, would you have really wanted, half an hour episodes repeatedly of just no gameplay until this point?
Mm-hmm.
No, we were going to cut to the chase on this regard.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons this had to be a marathon episode.
Yes. Any episodes we do from the future on this probably will either be shorter form, or depending on the case of the story, it probably will be longer form. But if you guys do want to see more Persona 4 Golden in the style of this, we would really like to know. Please let us know, because we are trying our best in terms of getting content out. Jordan's busy with his job, and I just would prefer to be able to actually collaborate a lot more with Jordan on projects. like, it's not that I can't put content out by myself, but
Hey, Teddy.
I don't know. It's Open Couch Gaming for a reason.
Yeah, we're open. We want other people to play with us.
Yeah, it's Jordan's channel.
Like how it just happened to me?
The shadows.
So yeah, the whole deal is just that the shadows of the people being thrown in here end up getting rejected because it's their darker selves, and then those shadows go berserk and just decimate them.
This world isn't made for humans. It's not. I don't hear any more voices.
Before you leave, maybe you ought to grab some Asahi beer.
Yeah.
Lord knows
Some people
Dojima would be
even
happy.
Survive coming from the shadow world.
Hey, Teddy.
This beer's from the TV land, and you just take one sip and you're out.
Because the ones who died entered this world, and I guess what I'm trying to ask is, did those places form because of the people?
I don't know. But that's probably where they were when the shadow.
Like, the thing is, if Teddy was a bit more reliable of a navigator in terms of like his own world that he lives in, yes, but
sensed
but
here before, but both of them disappeared.
So let's get this.
Also kind of not a fan of his color scheme.
I actually like this color scheme, dude.
And since they couldn't get out,
I will
they
defend
wandered
that
around.
part of him.
Well, that's just me though.
Yeah, I mean that's really just preference.
The fog
Like, if he was yellow and blue, I'd be good with him. But red, yellow, and blue, it's like, yes, red, yellow, and blue do usually go together a lot of times. But the way they do it with Teddy just kind of
Pretty sure.
throws me off.
Yeah, I mean I get that. Just looking at like the still here, I at least like that the end game model is, how should I say this? Like oversaturated in the portraits, but at least in game, like he has these little bright spots in the fur, but for the most part, he's kind of a navy color. Like it's a little darker. His jumpsuit's kind of stained and pitted, and then like he's got this little almost cross shading thing going on with his buttons. I don't know, like, I prefer the way he looks with the 3D model than how he looks on the portrait.
You were
Yeah.
lucky. Sensei and me were here with you.
Damn.
And then, of course, he just keeps calling you Sensei.
Yeah, it's always been kind of weird.
All alone.
Yosuke. They disappeared when the fog lifted. But they were safe before that. They attacked us. Maybe they're keeping a close eye on us.
So yeah, the whole deal about the game's time limit deal is that you gotta save the people in the TV before the fog lifts in this world.
And you only have time to say grind and prepare for the next fights while the fog is in the real world.
No. When it gets foggy on your end,
Oh yeah.
and it's not foggy here, the
That's
shadows get
fine.
aggressive when it's not foggy in the TV world.
Yeah.
They are docile, well, not docile, but they are less aggressive when it is foggy in this world. So you need to be able to save your people before a large amount of rain comes in the real world.
Though there is kind of like a time limit, if I remember, like while you're in here, like grinding, like you can only do for.
No.
Isn't there? Oh, okay.
No, not really. I mean,
You don't even know where you came
there was in Persona 3. I remember your party members did get exhausted after a
Maybe
period
that's
of
what I'm
time.
thinking
I
of,
don't
like,
know anything about
it's been
this.
years since I've played a Persona game.
Well, I mean, there you go. So, I mean, as far as I know, like, I went through all of, let's see, after I got Chie as a party member, I went through all of Yukiko's dungeon in one day. So,
Really?
yeah, there's no time limit. It's just,
letting us out unless we
it just depends on your resources. Like for Kanji, for instance, I just went back whenever my resources got a little low, but I did wait until at least I was in the final room.
Come in from the same place every time.
Or at the very least, I waited until I got to a place where a mini-boss would be.
You could come in from somewhere.
But
Show up
then in
somewhere.
Persona 5, the time limits were very much, like,
can you show us
way more concrete, I guess. Because it's not like you don't know when ahead of time the rain will come in and when you'll have to save people from the fog, but
first we need to make sure that
it's still just kind of like up in the air. But in 5, it's just like, okay, this is definitive. We got to do this by this day.
Yeah. And that's also been a problem with social links for me in this game in particular, because like
You get too invested in a character's social link, and then you end up accidentally letting somebody die.
Well, not only that, but like you can only do it on certain days of the week, and it's also based on like if you did something before this month. So if you don't have a walkthrough, like you can miss so much, which can give you the bad ending just because you didn't know you had to do this thing before this time.
Yeah. Yeah, I get you.
That's the one complaint I have about P4. It's just so hard to know exactly what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, it's like, although I think you actually do have some kind of a guide in terms of what at least other players did on a particular day.
I mean, yeah, now you do with Golden, because they added these online features. They talk about that in the beginning. But I'm just saying, like back in the day, that wasn't an option.
Yeah.
You know, you played through, and whatever you got, whatever you got, and then Nanako dies, and you're like, holy God, how did that happen? Like, what could I have done different?
Yeah, you're like, we didn't have any guides. We spent our $30 on 2 episodes and liked it.
Well, not only that, but
I'm gonna sleep well tonight.
It's almost like the developers wanted you to play this game more than once. Like, it's designed for multiple playthroughs.
Well, that's kind of the idea. It's not like you're going to max out every social link before you beat the game on your first playthrough. At the very least, you can get your social stats super high up, or complete all of them. Or you'll just end up not being able to progress much in terms of all the characters and their social links, and you're just like, but then you learn New Game Plus happens, you're like, oh! Especially since New Game Plus lets you keep all the equipment that you had in your previous playthrough, which is always, always nice.
Yeah, even so, the game's just so damn long.
That's...
Like, God, guys.
Yeah, that's the point.
This was a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, when I beat Persona 5 Royal, I definitely said to myself, okay, if I'm going to play Persona 5 Royal again, and I know I'm going to play it again, I'm going to give myself a bit of a break from that. And then Persona 4 Golden comes out on PC, and I'm like, I always wanted like a traditional umbrella like Yukiko's got.
Yeah.
I don't know why, I just like the look of those.
It really is nice. Whew, guys.
And I think...
We're almost
there. We're almost at a save point, everybody. I'm so sorry about how long this ended up being. Persona 4 is a very slow burn, but we at least got some gameplay in.
Oh, yeah.
It's okay, Nanako. TV's just talking about dead people.
Yeah, we're going to end on a high note.
Yup. But hey, at the very least, we got Yosuke as our party member. We unlocked our persona. We are getting ways into the game. I feel sorry for Nanako. We talked shit about Karens, which is always a good thing. Oh, this is the moment where the interviewer's going like, hey, that dead lady stayed at your place, right?
In other words, she's a man. Now that has a nice ring to it. Let's see if... We've heard that you're the new manager. Is it...
Oh, well, I'm only...
Someday, though. That aside, wow.
Yeah, he's just like completely... Yeah. Her rambling goes further off subject. Nanako, you have good sense.
Yep. And that's nice of you. It's like, I'm gonna help her out with the housework.
Yes.
Let me see if I can...
I don't think you have... I think you already did clean up in that cutscene. So
Yeah. Okay. Well, I always find it good to check. You never know what's going to happen in these games.
yeah, because since you can make your own school lunches as well in this game.
Yes.
So yeah,
You
this
need
was
to do that.
this was so much fun. This was
Yeah.
so much fun.
Like, I enjoyed the hell out of it. I don't know
And
about you. I
and
had a good time. Like, I
and
haven't
thank
visited
God
this game in
Atlus
years.
finally saw the money to put this game on PC.
Yeah, we can't count on them seeing the light of just expanding the audience and bringing a good game to people who haven't experienced it. Nah, let's be honest, it's about the money. But God, I am happy.
Well, the thing
They
is
saw
like they could have
money.
done this any time. This feels like a Sega move, as we just said.
Yeah,
But
it really is probably more of a Sega move than an Atlus move, but it's worth it.
but at the very least, we now have this on PC. It's so nice to have it. It can be modded to hell and back now, and yeah, it's finally something people can experience. And if you guys want to keep experiencing it with us, be sure to let us know in the comments below, because we could certainly use some guidance in how you like to see our content go.
Ooh.
Because I like doing these one-off videos of featuring games that we really like, or some budding games that are upcoming, like the Vernal Edge game we looked at. But if you guys want to see more of a Let's Play format, or at the very least a long play format where it's like one big 2-hour long episode of a big game, and then a series of smaller videos after that, just let us know. We
Yeah,
really would like
I
to
mean,
appreciate.
that's-
We really would appreciate the feedback.
That's true. Especially since the algorithm really hates longer style videos.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright. Well, thank y'all. Have a nice day, and we hope to have you on the couch again.